Speaking of animals, but animals in a different regard, reptiles, Joseph Bernacki joins us now for the first time from Prairie Exotics. And okay, Britney Spears, you got a friend this morning, Joseph.
Yes, good morning, Ainsley, and good morning, Winnipeg. I feel like Jungle Jack Hanna this morning. I am currently with Popcorn, the 13-year-old Burmese python, and this is the first time I've ever had a snake put on me, let alone on live TV. So this is a very exhilarating way to start our week. We're very gracious to have Prairie Exotics open up their home for their hospitality to us this morning just outside of Enola. Coming up throughout the next 2.5 hours, we're going to be seeing all different kinds of reptiles. We've got some really cool fish from South America behind us. We've got sheep, pigs, goats, all different kinds of animals that we're going to feature. And yeah, it looks like I've made a new friend. Popcorn is very friendly. He is a 13-year-old Burmese python again, and be great to feature all this and more. So keep it locked on CTV Morning Live.
I am all for hugs, but that is wrapped around your whole body, Joseph. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. We'll chat with you later. Joseph joins us once again. Every time I see you, you're doing something so brave, Joseph. Who are you joined by now?
Yes, good morning, Ainsley. Sorry, I'm a little distracted this morning. I am joined by Steve Rempel, the owner of Prairie Exotics. We also have a lovely Gila monster and Winston, the 2-year-old chameleon. Thank you very much for your time on the show this morning.
Well, thanks for having us over here.
Please introduce for our viewers your business, how you got started with Prairie Exotics, and what you get a chance to do for the public.
For sure. So in 2010, I turned my hobby and obsession of reptiles into a business which is focused on education. So I saw the need for people needing to learn about these animals, how to care for them properly. So we get to do birthdays, schools, daycares. We'll be at the Red River X starting next weekend for their fall fair, where we get to take a lot of these animals, not necessarily grandpa or monster here because he's a venomous lizard, so he's not allowed in Winnipeg, but a lot of other ones that are allowed in Winnipeg will be there on display for people to come learn about, touch, and interact with.
You get a chance to work with fascinating animals that we're going to be showing all morning long on CTV Morning Live. Tell us about the Gila monster from your hand. I understand, you know, from the southern United States and Mexico, they're pretty common. Tell us about it.
Yeah, he is venomous, mildly venomous. It's not deadly. His diet in the wild is like small rodents, baby rodents, eggs, stuff like that, so minimal, and it's on the back. He doesn't have big fangs like a cobra, rattlesnake, anything like that, so about equivalent to a bee sting, so not too bad. And as you can see, he's super friendly.
I was just saying, Steve, before this segment, the individual beads on the Gila monster are stunning to look at.
Yeah, and the ostriches go right onto the head, and that's actually part of their skull, which is really cool.
And what can you tell me about the little guy I'm holding in my hand? What about this chameleon?
He just joined us from the Western Reptile Expo in Calgary there this last weekend. We get asked by kids all the time birthdays, does the gecko change color? Is that a chameleon? And we haven't had one, so we added Winston to our crew because kids love to see them. They're amazing.
The colors are just absolutely stunning. I feel like I'm holding Rango, if you've seen that movie, folks. But
yeah, they got the cool tail like a monkey. You can wrap around prehensile, and then the little cute mitten toes and binocular eyes, so they can look two different directions and focus in on their food. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome, Steve. So Steve's going to be back, of course, for some more segments here from Prairie Exotics. We're going to be showing off some fish. We're going to be showing off some very friendly farm animals outside and so much more, including Winston here on CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. If you watch our program regularly, you probably know that I'm typically the one in the field. Today I'm in this chair, and Joseph is the one at Prairie Exotics, which basically means he's been super brave with various animals and reptiles throughout the morning. Joseph, what are we looking at right now?
Yes, thank you, Ainsley. I've got quite the entourage with me. I'm very pleased to be joined by Steve Rempel and Kenzie Watson, of course, of Prairie Exotics. And we've got Buddy, Hank, and a lovely snake. Steve, let's start off first. Tell us a little bit about Buddy.
Buddy's an umbrella cockatoo. He was someone's pet out of Prince Edward Island. Cockatoos, like other parrots, can make a lot of noise and be very destructive. They also bond very tightly with the person they love, and if you're not the person they love, you're going to get the wrath. So there are some problems with having parrots, and again, they live a long time, so he came to join us. And when we got him, he was actually completely bald on his chest. He had plucked all of his feathers out of stress. So we gave him a little collar for a while, and we've given him a loving home, and now he's doing awesome.
And you mentioned, you know, when you get a chance to take your creatures and reptiles to events like the Red River X, you get to have a lot of fun. He has a connection with music, I understand.
He does love music, especially at the live events at the fairs and stuff. When they got some bands out, he loves to dance, and he gets in there grooving back and forth. He just loves the music, right?
And of course, we featured Hank earlier at 7:08. Tell me a little bit about this Herman's tortoise.
So the nice thing with the Herman's tortoise is that's as big as he gets. So the problem with a lot of turtles and tortoises is they do get quite large. So him staying smaller is nice, but he does still live 75 to 100 years like our friend here. So it is a commitment.
And Kenzie is holding an African false river cobra. That's right?
False water cobra, actually from South America? Yeah.
From South America. Please tell us about the snake.
So it is mildly venomous. It's rear fangs, so it doesn't have front fangs like a true cobra. It's about a bee sting, essentially, if it were to bite. They call them a false water cobra because, A, they live to be in the water, and when they hood up like a cobra, well, they look like a cobra, but they're actually not. They're in the colubrid family, so they are quite a unique species.
We're going to be shortly wrapping up this segment, but tell our viewers about when's the next opportunity they could have a chance to see some of your reptiles and creatures.
We will be set up at the Red River X there for next weekend for the long weekend from Friday right through till Monday, so they can come by, see some of our animals, do some pictures, hold on to them, and interact. It'll be a great time. Come
get a picture with Hank the Tank. These guys are going to be joining us again shortly at 7:42, so keep it locked on CTV Morning Live for some wild and fun creatures.
Prairie Exotics is where Joseph is this morning, and we've learned a lot so far. It's been quite interactive for you as well. What will our audience be learning now, Joseph?
Well, Ainsley, I've got Flaming Hot Cheeto, the bearded dragon, currently in my hands. I'm very pleased also to once be again joined by Kenzie Watson and Steve Rempel, Prairie Exotics. Steve, you are holding a spiny-tailed lizard. Please tell us about Spike.
Spike is exactly that. They're called an ornate uromastix, but since that's a little difficult to say, they're also called a spiny-tailed lizard. So they use that very spiny hardtail as a defense to whip and protect themselves if need be. They're one of the lizards that is a herbivore, so greens and veggies, but also one of the few lizards that actually eats seeds as well, which is kind of cool.
His color is absolutely
fantastic,
stunning. And,
right?
you know, I've got Flaming Hot Cheeto in my hand here. She's been so gentle before we've been doing this segment. She hasn't moved. Tell our viewers a little bit about...
Bearded dragons are awesome, one of my favorites. That's what I started with when I got into the reptile hobby and community, was the bearded dragons. I've always loved animals, had all sorts of frogs and snakes we found outside, but getting the bearded dragon, something spiky, eats bugs, was really cool, and that got me into this whole world of awesome creatures. They're very easy to take care of, not exactly affordable. The dragon itself is probably the cheapest part at $100 to $200, but it's the large enclosure, the lights, and the consistent feeding.
And Kenzie is holding something I have a little bit of a fear of. I feel like you'd see them in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets if you know tarantulas, but please tell us about this spider from Brazil.
That is Snow White. She's a Brazilian white-kneed tarantula, and she is in the bird eater family, so she will get quite large, potentially like 10 inches around, and being a female, they can live over 20 years.
It's remarkable when you think about the longevity. I think we take for granted how, you know, if you take proper care of these creatures, they can really live a long life.
Chameleons are about the shortest ones, under 10 years, but most reptiles are consistently in the 15, 20 or longer.
I have to ask you, Steve, what's one of the more challenging parts of taking care of these exotic animals?
All the poop. They don't stop pooping. So it's always making sure their water dish is clean and full of fresh water, the enclosure is set up. Luckily with some of the snakes, I mean, they're only eating every 2 months, so they poop every 2 months, so they're not too bad. But lizards like these guys are eating every day, so it's a full-time job to take care of them.
Well, Steve and Kenzie are going to be joining us again for a couple more segments in the 8 o'clock hour, so stay tuned for some more surprises here from Prairie Exotics just outside of Enola, Manitoba.
It is now time to bring in our Joseph Bernacki. He's been talking to Prairie Exotics all morning. And what a morning it's been, Joseph. Lots to show, lots to see. What are we looking at?
It's been a great morning, Ainsley. Yeah, we fixed our technical difficulties, so we're back inside here hanging out with Prairie Exotics. Very pleased to have Kenzie Watson and Steve Rempel with me. And we've got some lovely little farm animals and more, including an African hedgehog. Please tell us about this hedgehog.
This is Prickle, and she is an African pygmy hedgehog, so they're one of the smaller species. Hedgehogs are found all over the world, except for here where we live in North America and Antarctica, but they are awesome little pets.
And as we tried to mention earlier at the 8:06 segment, you guys also have some really cool farm animals here, including this little baby pig who matches my shirt. She is trying to squirm free. Please tell us what it's like caring for farm animals here too.
Again, a lot of poop. Yeah, they don't stop pooping, but it's a lot of fun. So if you come visit us here at Prairie Exotics, we do have a little bit of everything, not just the reptiles. We've got goats, pigs, sheep, chickens, ducks, rabbits.
And bunnies.
And bunnies, all sorts of cute little fun stuff too for the people that may not be into such the creepy crawly.
make sure she doesn't crawl away. She is okay.
Yeah.
Steve, I got to ask you, you get a chance to spend, you both and Kenzie get a chance to spend time with so many different creatures. What do you enjoy the most about what you get to do now, from what was a hobby now that's turned to, you know, a full-time gig?
Playing with the animals, obviously, I gotta say, is the first thing. Actually getting to have them as my pets and have them in my life is amazing. But then after that, it's being able to share them with public, like doing our education through schools, daycares, birthdays, showing that passion line. People see, these days we watch everything on TV. Hi, it's okay, baby. She's okay. She's okay. We watch everything on TV, but actually being able to touch and interact with something is really awesome.
And it must be pretty rewarding getting to educate, you know, a younger audience, kids in school, grade school.
We show up to camps and birthdays and kids run up and they'll hug me, oh, Steve, or Snake Guy, or whatever they might call me. It's awesome.
So when can, again, we mentioned earlier on the show, when can people come and see your business and come check out some of the animals and feature, you know?
The best bet is to follow our Facebook page, Prairie Exotics on Facebook. We're going to be open to the public hopefully starting in October. Right now we just have to finish off our summer season with the Red of Rex next weekend, all of our schools and fun stuff like that. But she wants to go back to
this
mama.
Morning. Oh, maybe I will pass you.
Here.
I will pass you over to Kenzie. We can trade. So now I've got this adorable little bunny. She is absolutely adorable. Cameraman Scott has got to zoom in on her because she is just precious.
Right.
So we've been having a lot of fun again with Prairie Exotics today. They are located just outside of Enola, not too far outside the city. And again, they're going to be at the Red River Fall Fair. That's going to be coming up
next weekend, the long weekend.
Yeah. Steve, Kenzie, I want to thank you both so much for your time on the show this morning and letting me get to channel my inner jungle Jack Hanna. For our viewers this morning, of course, who's on David Letterman's show all the time. And we'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.